What up team, it's MurderInc here, back again with another Raid Shadow Legends video, coming to you hot from the test server. This is the test server, not the live server. We're going to be talking about the 4 epic. Let's just get right into it here. So first one, Lady Quilen here, not geared. What does that mean? In my opinion, no good. What does she do? Fills the champion's turn meter by 15% if this attacks critical. Nothing special there. Attacks one enemy, places an extra hit if it's critical. Nothing crazy. Fills the turn meters of all ally by 30% if the attack kills an enemy. If they got rid of the last part, it would have been decent. The fact that you have to kill, that's not a realistic, condition for most players, so that can help too many people out, especially being Bannerlords. 83 attacks all enemies, places increased crit damage, increased attack if it's critical. I don't see it. I really don't. This is probably not a champion. I don't know. I have a pretty good gauge from just reading kits. I've been doing this for a while, and I cannot say, oh yeah, if you're early game and mid game, I can see the use here. I just don't. Increase crit damage, increase attack, maybe in a stun set, but then again, it's just the A3, so I don't know. Didn't build her. I'm not going to waste my time talking about her outside of the skills there. Don't think she's strong at all. Next, we have old Ghrukkus here. He is a Ogryn tribe support epic champion. What do we got? A1, 3 hit, 15% chance of placing leech up to 20%. Pretty decent on its own for sure. Moving on to the A2, 4 turn cooldown, 60% chance up to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 of decreased speed on one enemy. Also has a 40% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 30%. Why one enemy? Don't ask me. A3 attacks all enemies, places attack down, heal reduction for 2 turns. This can be booked to 100%. 3 turn cooldown here. This would be good if the A2 was an AoE as well, decreasing speed. Of course, attack down is a very strong buff. Heal reduction can have its uses, and decreased speed is very good, but the fact that this is just a single target, I really don't see it. We do have increased ally speed in dungeons by 24%. That is a lot of speed here, so I can't say he is unusable, but as far as strength goes, there are just so many good replacements. If you're struggling with attack down, then you can consider going after and keeping a champion like this. If not, I don't see a use outside of the speed aura and the AoE attack down. The leech, triple hit A1, he's support. Yes, you're gonna get mastery damage, but I'm not buying it. Now, Kunoichi, pretty sure that's how you say it. Shadowkin, defense-based champion. Let's talk about this one. Sever muscle, A1 ability here. Weaken on the A1, 30, 40% chance, high percent chance. I like that a lot. Debuff duration is 2 turns, so nothing wrong there so far. Moving on to that A2 ability, we have a 4 turn cooldown. AoE, attacking all enemies, 100% chance of placing leech. Leech is good, we all know it, great source of healing if you're dealing damage, but there's more. A3 ability, places ally protection buff on everyone but this champion, of course, then fills this champion turn meter by 50%. Now usually when we see ally protection buffs, we get some type of shield buff on a champion, we get something else, and you can say, Murder, this doesn't sound that good. He's got leech, they have ally protection, but there's just a turn meter fill. What's the deal? Here's the deal. The passive here places block damage on this champion for 1 turn whenever their HP drops below 50%. Yes, it's a 5 turn cooldown, I get that, but for progression purposes, even for arena, this is good. I like this a lot because of, this is kind of like a epic version of Samar. Of course, it's much worse, the cooldown's much longer, but everyone knows when you take ally protection damage, you are getting filtered all the damage from your allies, and you take a ton of damage. Ton. Lots of players struggle with this. They have it up for a boss. The boss uses 1 AoE and that champion gets 1 shot. Now, yes, you can build around it. The gear requirements for champions like this are always going to be much higher than every other single champion in the entire game here, but the passive here is that fail safe once every 5 turns. I think that's really strong. The fact that we're boosting turn meter here means we can build slow to kind of take advantage of this passive here. Ideally, you'd want to use this A3, boost the turn meter, get 1 more turn in before the enemy proc this passive here. That way, the champion's slow, like I said. Built tanking can really take a lot of hits, I guess, and absorb a lot of free damage here from this block damage. And of course, we also have the ability to apply leech, which is going to be strong as well. Now, the next champion, that's one I'm going to talk about it more in the gear for sure, is going to be our friend, the one, the only, I know it's a blue champion, where you at? Probably past you. Arndulf. Okay, Arndulf, we got Bannerlord defense-based epic here, defense champions on a roll today. Provoke from the A1 up to a 30% chance, nothing crazy, 1 turn duration as to be expected from CC skills, daunting violence attacks all enemies, 75% chance up to 100% chance of a weaken, 25% chance up to a 50% chance of placing fear debuff for 1 turn. Weakens great, fear is okay for the following reason. A3, I like this a lot, reflect damage on all allies for 2 turns, counter attack on this champion for 2 turns. This has a lot of potential in what? The Fire Knight. Everyone knows that the Fellhound, I believe his name is, demon spawn dog that people are using with decreased speed, all of that good stuff, very strong in the Fire Knight, kind of falls off for a lot of people. I honestly think this guy's a viable replacement. He has an AoE weaken, which is going to help you through the waves. He has a little bit of CC with that fear, giving you a chance to have the enemy not get a turn at all, which is nice here. A little bit counterproductive. I'm a bit curious as to why they added fear when you're giving your whole team, including this champion, reflect damage. You kind of want to reflect the damage and you want to get hit with the counter attack. It would make much more sense if they had a provoke on the AoE here and maybe the fear on the A1. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Does that not sound significantly better in your opinion? In mine, it does for sure. But it is what it is. This is the kit we have today. I think this is really strong. Let me talk about how I built this champion. We have a shield set. We have a speed set. This is what I would recommend. One thing to note here, really like this champion's base stats. We have 17,000.6 for an epic. That's a respectable amount of health. Defense does not fall short either here. 1,300 defense. I like that a lot. 101 base speed. Really good how I built it. 55,000 health, nothing crazy, but I did want to respect the speed here to get things cycling a bit. 3,600 defense here, and of course accuracy for the, what is the accuracy for? The AoE weaken and the provoke as needed. So this is how I would gear him. As far as masteries go, he has lots of turn meter potential, which is why I focused on speed here. He has buffs, he has debuffs. Any champion that has both, I mean, assuming they're valuable buffs and debuffs, of course. Arcane Celerity, Rapid Response, Home Run abilities here. Cycle of Magic is going to help, of course. Lasting Gifts can be paired with Master Hexer as well. This would be the recommended talents, or not talents, masteries that I would go with for this champion here. I think it's going to be awesome in progression for a lot of players who, I mean, endgame, there's no champion that's good for an endgame player, so not even worth talking about you guys, including myself here. But for everyone else, progression-wise, this is a really strong champion. I like him a lot. Would have preferred a champion that wasn't magic affinity. However, this is going to be good for Fire Knight stage 25. I'm going to take a run with some random champions in a bit here. But let's talk about Kunoichi really quick here. I have Regeneration. I have Immortal. So we have lots of, I guess, passive healing going on for this champion when we do get turns, because like I said, ally protection makes this champion very hard to gear here, so don't look at the gear too much. I mean, you can look at it a little bit. The stats, their endgame, I get that, but just the idea of what I'm doing is what's important here. Let's look at the base stats. 17.8 thousand base health. Once again, respectable, not too low. 1,300 base defense, very similar to Arndulf that we just talked about. 99 base speed, 2 base speed slower than Arndulf, but honestly, I think this champion's kit's much better. So what did I do? 73,000 health, 3.3 thousand defense, 172 speed. Like I said, slow before. If you can get away with HP% boots, do it. That's probably more of a end of mid to late game tactic. However, if you can't do that, speed boots are going to be just fine, but don't focus, for the first time I think I've ever said it, too much on speed, because the fact that we're boosting the turn meter by 15% after the first skill, which should always be, of course, the ally protection, it just makes no sense to go the slowest. You want all of your champions to get a turn in first, then you use ally protection so they're not burning through that buff, which is why you wouldn't want to gear this champion crazy fast unless you wanted to use the first ability. But that's up to you guys. You guys can do it however fits your personal progression. Also, one thing to note, crit damage, never build in ally protect champions. It increases the damage they take. If you don't know how ally protection damage works, you can check out a video I did on that. But don't build any crit damage. I have +6 here. Tried to keep it as low as possible. The Great Hall gave me 25 extra. What am I going to do about it? And then finally accuracy, like I said. Masteries here, pretty straightforward. We have the offense tree for War Master. Any additional damage is going to be nice here. I didn't need accuracy, so I took HP. If you do need accuracy, of course you can take HP. Next we have rapid response, Lore of Steel on top of just extending with lasting gifts, and Spirit Haste. In case one of your allies dies, it gets Kunoichi more turns in, while the healer, assuming you have a healer, can really ramp up. So with that being said, I don't have anything prepared. I have not tested this, haven't tried it. I mean, in the dungeon we're gonna do at least. So let's go ahead, risk it all. Let's just risk everything here. Who are we gonna replace and why? We are going to replace. Is there even a right answer here? You know what? Let's just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Don't answer that. Do not answer that. Who's the good champion? He is blue. Arndulf. Where you at, dog? He is right. Oh, my eyes going nuts. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Fire Knight is 25. Keep in mind, I know I'm using endgame gear here. We're going to throw on auto. Maybe we'll throw it 1x speed. Ooh, so we are getting extra buffs here, which is going to help Seer. Yes, I know not everyone has Seer or lacks here. So this synergy, listen, this synergy is not going to make a ton of sense, but once we get to the boss, I'll probably manual it just a little bit. And the fact that I'm using a lure, I didn't even consider that before, so we're just going to be lowering the turn meter. You know what? I can throw this key for sure. What we're going to do is, I mean, I just used all of Allure's cooldowns. Not a big deal, don't at me. Okay, we got this, and we're not refreshing. Okay, Michelle died, this is good. As long as I can keep this pace up, we're fine. Defense down, easy. What do we got? Reflect damage, no, we're saving that for the next round. A1, take that, let's use this, lower the cooldowns of the threatening people here. We don't like them. Not just because they're orcs, we're fine. We don't discriminate here. Let's use this, just get that out of the way. Kill, kill, kill. Okay, slowly but surely we're making our way right on through here. Extra turn. Bam. Okay, let's see reflect damage on the Fire Knight. We're strong affinity here, so we have a lot of things going for us. Is this possible without Mishald? Debatable. Am I going to go twice before this guy? Probably. You know what? We're going to risk it. We're going to A1 here. And this is going to go terribly because that's usually what happens in videos, but I'm okay with it. I'm just going to let it happen. And exactly what I thought. We don't have enough hits just yet. We did go twice, so we do get the reflect damage here. He's going to get a turn, so nothing we really do matters. It's just A1. Hope for no extra turn, and of course we get the extra turn. Okay, this is why we can't have nice things. Okay, so we got 3 hits here. Seer died, unlucky, all the way down to 8. You guys get what I'm trying to do here. This is a terrible showing. You don't have to let me know in the comments. I understand it for sure, but the point of what I'm trying to show you here is reflect damage. Most people know that it's good for the Fire Knight, but in case you don't, now you do. It is good for the Fire Knight. We got the weaken rolling. This is a team that I don't normally have a weaken in, so had all of my champions survived here, this would have been a pretty decent team overall. Yes, I do have the synergy of keep going over and over again with the lure, lowering the turn meter. There's no chance I can sustain this, I think. And even if I could, yeah, Allure's just gonna die. Maybe she's fast enough. Why is this working? Hold on. Is this guy sleeper OP with just 3 champions? I mean, I know I had Seer for a little bit. There's no way I can keep this up, right? Stage 25, by the way. Manual for a little bit, we're at 3 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes is, no one's gonna respect that. I started in 1x speed. This run was all over the place, but I just did it with 3 people. Was it because Allure carried? 1000%. However, without that reflect damage, lowering that shield to 8 on the transition, you guys see my point. Very strong if you don't have a lure. This guy is fantastic. I love his base stats. I love his kit. Everything about him just makes sense for the Fire Knight. If you want to use him in other dungeons, he will be successful as well. But I do believe his main purpose in the scheme of things is going to be Fire Knight. A lot of players struggle with Fire Knight, which is why I think he's one of the better epics I've personally seen in a very long time. Now with that being said, let's head into Dragon Stage 25. Okay, we're not showing this team. We need to find a realistic team. You know what? We're going to use one Calvalix. I'm kidding. Everyone settle down. Stop typing in the comment section. It was a joke. You need to relax. We're going to use these champions. And let's throw in like one of the worst champions we can think of. Lydia for sure. No one thinks she's good. Okay. Matter of fact, let's throw in a +3 Lydia. Yeah, this is good. Red Affinity makes sense. I'm here to protect my team here. Chimer's gonna refresh. Actually, we don't want to show refresh. What we want to do is, let's use another random champion to ensure our success here. We're not gonna use Reviver. We're going all in today. We are not using a Reviver. We're not scared. We don't care. I cannot find a champion that I want to use. I don't have enough. That's the only explanation. I just don't have enough champions here. We're gonna use what's the worst champion I can think of? The second Calvalix. Okay, so here we go. We have a nice free-to-play team showcasing a fantastic new epic here. And the epic's going to be the highlight of the run. Obviously, look at that. Ally protection. We are protecting. So look how much we just protected there. Incredible. Incredible. We got poisons. That's nice. Look at that really cool animation we just saw, which was applying leech. My team's healing. I'm not worried about a thing. This is fine. Look at that block damage. I'm alive. Now these two are going to solo the rest of the dungeon by themselves here because poisons are OP and we can't die. Are we going to have enough damage? Don't answer that. Get out of the comment section. I'm warning you right now. Listen, we're in it. We're committed now 100%. We have defense down. We have weaken. We have mastery. And we have no shot at getting rid of this once it gets to be too ridiculous here. Okay, listen. We have leech for self-healing. Incredible champion. Ally protection. So we're going to take a ton of damage, but that's fine. Okay, increased speed, defense down. We really need to start pumping out damage here. Ally protection worked pretty well there. As we can see, regeneration and immortal gear working to our benefit for sure here. We just cannot lose this. Yeah, we need mastery procs, so this is not going to work out too well. And we're not really getting them. Okay, so eventually the damage is going to ramp so high where we are going to die, which is unfortunate, but this is actually a rather decent showcase of how good this champion works, why I geared it in regeneration gear, because like I just showed, you're taking crazy damage most of the time. I mean, granted, the gear I'm using is above average for sure, not going to argue that, but regeneration, immortal, if you don't have immortal, that's fine. If you want to pair it with someone like a Doom Priest, that's going to work. Vrask, that's also going to work. We just saved ourselves right there. We took a ton of damage. We prevented the killing blow. This is really strong. This is probably the only time I did just see a decreased cooldown if that was for the passive. I don't even know if that's possible. I have to look into that for someone who knows how passives work as far as cooldowns go, or if someone in the chat and commenting wants to do that for sure. So, yeah, I'm 99% sure if the passive isn't up, we are going to get one shot here, 99%. Why did I take damage all the way down to 0? That doesn't make too much sense here, so I don't think there's a chance. Wait, if we get enough mastery procs, this can be the greatest double showcase in the history of Raid Shadow Legends. First, we 3-manned Fire Knight 25. Now we are 2-manning with an epic that this shouldn't. Okay, it comes down to this right here. Are you kidding me? Actually though, is this some kind of sick joke? Plarium? What did I tell you about watching me when I'm recording? We need 100% success every time I record so people think this is good. Alright, enough of that. Anyways, this is the breakdown. These are the two champions. I like them a lot, despite what we just saw there. And of course, I'm getting notified that Lydia doesn't have all of her gear on it. Listen, fantastic champions. Really impressed by them with the most recent track record of a lot of epics. These really stand out to me. I'm rarely this vocal about epic champions in general, besides quite a few of them. Yeah, like I said, I didn't show the other two. I went over the skills there. If you see something that I probably missed in them, definitely let me know, leave a comment below. But huge fan of these two champions, the defense-based champions. Always a good place for those in the game. We have plenty of nukers. I think it's just a waste of time adding more and more of those because of who most players start out with, who you slowly get throughout time. So that's just my personal opinion, but that's going to conclude this video. If you guys enjoy it, smash that like button, subscribe, turn the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.